Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time of the year once again. It's the time of the year where I get to make an absolute tit out of myself. It's prediction time. That being said, last year didn't actually start off that bad. I got the Drivers' Champion right, and even the top 4 in the Constructors bang on too. Then I said Sargent would be alright and Bottas would get a f***ing podium. Can I do any better this time around? Well, hey there guys, I'm Will, welcome to FP1, and let's stop padding for time and find out. We'll get the big one out of the way first. Drivers' World Champion, Max Verstappen. Although my guess is the competition will at least try to make it somewhat difficult for the Dutchman in 2024. With that established, let's talk about the Constructors. Now, the easy option here is to go with Red Bull once again. 2023 was an utterly dominant season, and if the rumours are true that Newey has been fondling with his drawing board for a good while on the RB20, then that dominance running into 2024 seems like a pretty fair proposition. That would be the easy option. But I'm not going to go with it, mainly because this video needs a thumbnail. With regulations staying constant for more or less a third year in a row, the pack is going to begin to bunch up. We've seen this already throughout 2023, and with it set to continue, for a team to come out on top, they're going to need both drivers firing on all cylinders. Based on recent form, that's not something I'd say Red Bull have right now though. So while yes, I think Verstappen will end up wrapping up title number 4 at the end of the year, the Constructors' Trophy may well go elsewhere. Where exactly? Well, us content creators love our watch time statistics, so you'll have to wait till the end of the video to find out. On to real prediction number 2 then. And that's all to do with the Mexican Minister of Destruction, Sergio Perez. Despite finishing second in 2023, Sergio's fans ended up fighting more for the title than he did. The heat has been surrounding that second Red Bull seat for some time now, and let's be honest, Checo hasn't necessarily made it easy for himself, has he? His poor performances were okay, given how much faster that Red Bull was than anything else on the grid. But with tighter competition this year, he'll have nowhere to hide, and I'm predicting by mid-season, Red Bull have had enough and replace Checo for Daniel Ricciardo. That move would also allow room for Liam Lawson to step up into whatever AlphaTauri are being called at the moment, whilst Perez will likely fall off the grid, maybe even permanently given how low his stock has fallen as of late. It also means Checo's last Mexican Grand Prix will be him catapulting off the side of Charles Leclerc at turn 1. Not quite the ending on a high he envisioned, but this is Formula 1 and I'm a massive Daniel Ricciardo fan. So tough shit. On to prediction number 3 then, and on to McLaren. And I won't lie, this one really has me torn. McLaren have seemed to make a habit recently of going into a championship full of hope and positivity, only to go out in Q1 and end the first race in Bahrain in a flaming hot mess. Romain Grosjean would be proud. The Woking squad seemed to push a lot of development late in the 2023 season, when teams like Red Bull had already shifted full focus onto this year, and I do wonder if that may well hurt them in the long run. Recent history would tell me to go down that route again, but things seem a bit different this year. The start of 2023 was marred by a design team that spent the off-season sniffing glue behind the bins, and when new team principal Andrea Stella had found his feet and bludgeoned James Key with a front wing, the outfit actually started to harness its untapped potential and bring in the results. We shouldn't need a repeat of that this time around, and so I'm going to predict more podiums than last year and Lando Norris to finally secure his first victory in Formula 1 this season. The other team I can see making big gains in 2024 will be Visa Cash App OnlyFans RB. I think I might have added an extra bit to that name, but I can't remember which bit it is. AlphaTauri have become BTEC Toro Rosso for the new campaign and have decided that they want the support of the main Red Bull team once again. And I'm predicting the support will very quickly push them back to the front of the field and into mild competitiveness. Now let me be clear, I'm not saying we'll be seeing regular podiums from these guys, and actually with such a new concept they're more likely to need some time to find their feet at the start of the year. But in Daniel Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda, you're looking at an underrated lineup, and one that could find the upper reaches of the points fairly often if that package starts to come together. So we've talked about who will be fast in 2024, now let's look at the other end of the spectrum. I've singled out 3 teams for this bit, and it should come as no surprise that Haas will be the first one of them. It's been a difficult winter for the American outfit, having to make the arguably necessary call to fire Gunther Steiner, yet in doing so also removing the one thing that kept the team relevant to begin with. Their new team principal, Io Komatsu, has already proven to be a great spurrer of confidence, taking every media opportunity to outline just how utterly shit the team will be in 2024. So why disagree here? Drop this video a like if you'd like to see the return of Haas Watch in this season's comedy reviews. Joining Haas in teams no one likes or cares about anymore, we have the Stake F1 team. Just look at how dead inside Zhou Guan Yu looks here. This is probably his last year in the sport, and he's just come to the realization that his car has been designed by a 5-year-old who's had his head kicked in, and he'll be spending the next 9 months dressed up as an Asda employee, which is ironically where he'll end up once they sign Carlos Sainz for 2025. Stake, in their various guises, have been on a downwards death spiral for a few years now, and with no further cash injection from Audi until 2026, I see no evidence to suggest they'll buck that trend this season. It's a sad end to what was once the beloved Sauber outfit, but alas, they've done it to themselves, so what can you do? The final team I can see going backwards in 2024 is Alpine, though like Sauber, it's not like the hints haven't been there for a while. After its driver situation imploded in 2022 and its management structure imploded in 2023, one wonders what's left to go wrong with the French outfit in 2024. Well, the complete shift in car ideology isn't a great sign, and if the rumours are true that both Gasly and Ocon want out at the end of the season, it's not looking promising, is it? That said, this might be the first time the pair have actually agreed on something. Really, since Daniel Ricciardo left the team to ruin his life at McLaren, the seeds of destruction have been brewing under the skin. That sounded a little too much like my English GCSE exam, but you get the point. On the bright side, the continuation of the French explosion should be good fun to watch. Let's move on from teams and discuss everyone's favourite topic, the driver market, which is due to explode in 2024, and I'm not even counting that as a prediction given what we've seen already. What looked to be a disappointingly tame year initially was blown wide open when Hamilton announced his move to the glue factory for 2025. And while I'm not going to sit here and predict the whole grid just yet, let's take a look at who might slip into that second Mercedes seat alongside George Russell next year. Up to now, I've been preaching Alex Albon's name here, there and everywhere. And although James Vowles has claimed that the Thai driver is secured at Williams until the end of next year, I still don't think a move is off the cards. Kimi Antonelli's name has been thrown about, of course, and Fernando Alonso took the Aston Martin launch as an opportunity to advertise himself to Mercedes. But I think both are two high-risk options when the Mercedes outfit is back on an upwards trajectory. So I'm sticking to my guns here, Albon to Mercedes in 2025. Okay, so I've pissed around the bush long enough, and I think it's finally time to get to that Constructors' Championship prediction. And I'll probably end up regretting this as usual, but I'm going to place whatever's left of my integrity on Ferrari for the title in 2024. Let's just take that in for a second. In a Constructors' Champion, we're looking for a team with a strong driver lineup that can be consistent over a season. And yes, whilst Ferrari have been consistently in a lot of areas over the last few years, 2023 seemed to mark a bit of a turning point, despite dropping to P3 in the overall standings. Leclerc and Sainz I still feel is a pretty underrated driver pairing, and if the Monegasque can actually get a decent bit of luck for once this year, they could be right at the top end of the pecking order. Sainz will also be aiming to impress in order to secure a drive for next season, and I think that, combined with Red Bull's second driver struggles, will open up the door to Ferrari to snatch the Constructors' crown. In a very Ferrari way, if I'm having to be honest. Those then are my predictions for the 2024 Formula 1 season. So with that said, we can sit back and look forward to the Haas and Hülkenberg domination that is to come. What do you think? Actually, don't tell me that, instead just list your predictions down below and put the other people for how theirs are, rather than me for once. Thanks as always to the patrons and channel members who make all of this possible, and you can get involved with that by using the links in the description down below. I'll be back very soon for another video, and I'll see you all then. But until that point, have a good one.